So in the last lecture, we learned about the template engine EJS. So we added some pages for our using a template engine like index.ejs, and we also saw about like how to include partials, how to add dynamic variables into your EJS templates, okay, and how to pass them to your route. Okay. Now we have implemented a CRUD operation where from that CRUD operation we have implemented only read operation where we are showing list of users, okay, and the view, like the single user view page. Okay, now let's implement create, update and delete operations. Okay, now for that let's add some buttons here. Okay, so I'll add button btn hyphen primary. Here I will say create user. We can have a button or anchor tag as well just to go to that page. Okay, so I'll add anchor tag just to go to that page. Okay, create user page, and in the href section we will add the link. Okay, for now we don't have any link, so we'll just add create user anchor tag. Then we create two more. One is for update user, okay, and another is for delete user. Now delete user and update user won't be here because this will be like particular user. So we'll need to add them here. Okay. This is like update and delete. I'm just going to add the links here for now, and we will change the links later on. Okay. For now, just let's keep it as it is. And here we'll create slash users slash create. Okay. So let's assume there is a link slash user slash create, and once you go to that link, you will be shown a form page. Okay, or a form with user details, asking user details. Okay. So let's go to your server.js file, and inside this we need to create that URL. Okay, get request. Okay. For now we have this get request for users. We have user slash ID. Then we will implement user slash create. Okay, but make sure you are writing user slash create after this user slash colon ID. No, before this, sorry, not after this, before this. Okay, why so? Because see, now I'll just do the response dot send user create. Okay, this will work now. Okay, if you go to this page, this will work. Let's, okay, I haven't started the code. npm start, sorry, cd express demo npm start. My server is started. Let's go to localhost colon 4000. Here you'll see users page. Now if I go to create user, you'll see user create. Okay, and the URL is user slash create. Okay. But if you try to go to if you do this after user slash colon ID, then let's see what happens. View, you can see user slash one, but if you go to create user, you will see something like this error. Okay, why this error is coming, and you can check the what is the error here. It is actually trying to access view.ejs file. Why it is trying to access view.ejs file? Okay, view.ejs file is rendered when we use user slash ID, but for user slash create, for this URL, why it is trying to access view.ejs file? Can anyone tell me why so? Yes. What is the issue here? The URL is same. Okay. And we have added a request for a request URL here, but still it is accessing this user slash view. Why? Why not user slash create? Anyone? No one. Yes. Is there anyone online or not? Hello. अरे hey yes. Okay. No idea. Okay. ठीक है. Can't tell. Okay. ठीक है. If you just observe the URLs here, okay, this is user slash create and this is user slash colon ID. This is dynamic, right? ID colon ID is dynamic. So if I write 1, 2, 3, 4 or create, update, delete anything here, it is going to access this URL, right? And that's the reason you can see user slash view page here. Okay. So if you try to write user slash create or user slash anything here, okay, it will go to this URL because this colon ID is not specific to a number. You can write anything here. Okay. And since this is written first, your this URL is capturing that, or this request is capturing that URL. And that's the reason you can see user slash view is displayed. Okay. And when you do this before user slash create, before user slash ID, so when your request comes as user slash create, then it will first check this URL is there, then it will go here, it will not go down. That means the order of request, okay, order of routes matter. Okay, because whenever you request anything, any URL, it will go from top to bottom. It will check whether the URL matches or not. So in this case, if I'm writing user slash create first, then the first time only the URL is matched, and that's the reason you can see if I go to user slash create, it will show me user create. But if I do this after this, then in the order slash user slash colon ID is coming first, and colon ID is a placeholder. We can write anything here. So if you write create also, it will give me this this thing. And here you can see it is telling you cannot read properties of undefined reading ID because for create ID there is no user here. Okay, and that's the reason you can see you are getting this error. Okay, understood how the URL basically is handled here. So your order of route matters here. Okay, so I'll just write it here. Order of routes matter. Okay, so in which order you are writing the routes, it will definitely matter. So make sure whenever this dynamic routes should be at the end. Okay, the hard coded or static route should be at the first. Okay, so the rule for this is dynamic routes should be after static route. Okay, here one rule you can follow is dynamic routes, okay, which is colon ID should be after static routes. Then only this routes will match, and this routes will match afterwards, because if it writes user slash one, this route will not match and this route will match, and then it will go to this route. Okay, understood this? Okay, good. Now, before moving on to the create part, okay, I just want to do one thing here. So if you do user slash one, I'm able to see user one. Okay. If you do user slash two, I'm able to see user two. Okay, because both are available for us. But if you do user slash three, you are going to get error here. That's because the user is not found, and we are trying to access user ID here. Okay, so in that case, if user is not found, okay, then what you can do is you can directly or let's say you can go to view page and check whether the user is found, then only display this, otherwise display something else. Okay, you can check if user, okay, sorry. You can write here uh, this if user, okay, percent greater than, okay, and then After this, close this one. Okay, close this. Or if you want to write else, you can write else as well. Okay, that's also fine. Here you can specify H3 user not found. Okay. So now if you refresh, you will see user not found. Okay. If you go to this, if you view this, you will see user view. Go this, say a user 2, it is found. Go to any other number, you will see user not found. Okay. Because user not found. Okay, so that's how you can handle these users. Or if you want to throw some error from your server itself, okay, if user is not found, then in that case you can just check whether the user is found here or not. You can directly check it here. If user found, then only render this page. Otherwise you can render else. You can render this response the status 404 not found. Okay, you can directly tell them user is not found. Okay, now in this case, if you try to access this, you will see 404 page not found. Okay, but you can customize this message page not found ki jagah pe you can write user not found. Okay, you can send the message here. Okay, like we send it here, comma separate karke. You can write the message and then you can say whatever the message you pass to, you can just replace that message here. Page not found ki jagah pe you can write user not found. Okay, so there are both ways, two ways. Either you can check whether the user is found or not, and then if else condition you can write and then write it here, or else you can directly handle the page rendering of the page from your server itself. Okay, understood this part? Okay, okay. First write it down, then we will see the create part. First complete this view part, then we look right. Sorry. It's not necessary to write both. You can write either or. If you want to handle it on the view part, you can handle it on the view part. If you want to handle it from the backend itself, then you can handle it from the backend. Okay, it's up to you. Okay. So write this. Okay, don't write this one because we are not there yet. So just write this part first. Then okay, what about others? Okay, why Ashish? Are you not on the machine? Okay, but do it later on, okay? Don't skip it. Okay, now we have handled if the user is not found. Okay, now let's see how to create the user. So even I will do from recording later. That's fine, but later on, just do it, okay? Don't miss the part because all the lectures after this will be linked. Okay. So here afterwards we will be creating REST APIs. So whatever we have done till now in the Express will be applicable there as well. But instead of using some template engine, we will be creating some JSON output. Okay. So just make sure you are going through all these things. Okay. Okay. Now let's do it for create. So just add the code again here. So we have a user slash create. Okay, we have created this route. Now for this route, we are just displaying user create for now. So I'll just create one page new. Let's say create dot ejs. Okay. Now this is page. So I'll just copy code from here and then I'll paste it in the create. Okay. And here I'll change it to users create. And header will be the same container, and in this container I'm going to write a form. Okay. Now create is a form, so I'll just write create user here for now. H1 create user. Okay, and let's see whether this works or not. First of all, I need to change the request route. So here response.render will use users slash create. Okay, so it will display the create user page. Okay. Now, if you refresh, let's go to users and create user. You will see create user page. Okay. Now, in this page, I want to add a form. Okay. So let's go to bootstrap.com, get bootstrap.com, docs section, and in this, I'll go to forms. Okay. Now, I'll just copy this form code because we'll be needing two fields. Okay. I think two, right? Yeah, two. Name and age. ID will be auto-generated, so we won't be needing ID. So I'll copy this and go to create.ejs. And after this, let's paste our form. And this, we don't need this checkbox. So I'll remove. Okay. We don't need type password. So I'll remove ID. Okay. Let's change it to age. Okay. The here type will be number, okay, because age will be number, right? So we'll be writing number and age. Okay. Here we don't need this email help. Type will be text and yeah, sorry, email. No, what is the two fields? Okay, name and age. Sorry. So here it will be type text and this will be name, name and this. So just simple form with two fields, name and age, and there is a submit button. Okay. Let's go and refresh your page. You will see these two fields, name and age. Give me a minute, okay? Just give me 2 minutes, okay? Okay, sorry, there was a one call. Okay, so you can see I just created a simple form here for create user. Okay, so we have a name and age field. So I'll just submit and it should go to some page. Okay, now when you create a form, we specify two attributes for this form. Okay, one is your method, which method you are going to use. So let's say get. First of all, let's see get method. Okay, then we will see post method. Okay, so I'll use method as get and the action. Okay, action is nothing but your URL. Okay, so when you submit the form, on which URL your data should be submitted, here we specify that in an action. Okay, so we don't have a URL to submit a form. So what I will do, I'll just add slash users slash add user. Okay, let's say create user get. Okay, I just write user slash create user get. Okay, so this is the URL we will be using. Okay, because we cannot do the same with for say we cannot use the same URL like user slash create for submitting the form. Okay, we can do that, but then we have to check a lot of conditions for that purpose. Okay, so if you want to avoid that, just use a separate URL. Okay, and now once your action is done, okay, you can just refresh your page and let's try to submit the form. So I'll just add my name, More, age, something like this, and submit. Now, if you do, you can see user slash create user is coming. Okay, and you are seeing page not found because we don't have a URL for request URL for that. Okay, but here you can see the question mark is there, but when you use get, okay, you should see the parameters here. Okay, so whatever the data I have passed, you should see those parameters here. I'm not able to see it because when you use form, okay, there is a compulsory property that you need to add. That is nothing but name property. Okay, this name property we actually specify the key for the this field. Okay, let's say name for a name. Okay, and for age, we will write age. The name is the property of input field. So when you submit a form, this will be considered as its key and the value will be considered its value. Okay. Same for this, age will be key and value will be the value that you specify. Okay. So let's refresh and check again. Submit. Now you will see name equals to Pranit. Now space is converted to plus. Okay, in URL, and ampersand is used to separate the two fields. Okay, age equals to 23. Okay, that means when you do get request, you will get all the parameters in your URL. Okay, so in this case, I'm getting the parameters, and you're obviously getting this URL, but we haven't handled that request, so you are seeing page not found. Okay. So let's go and handle that request. we have user slash create. Let's create a separate one. And here I'll write user slash create user get. Create user get. Now here we will display, let's say, list page. Okay, I want to show list page. Now, if for now I just do response dot send. Okay, and user created successfully. For now, I'll just display some message. Okay, user created successfully. Okay, let's go and check. So submit. You will see user created successfully. That means my URL is working. Okay, but here, how can you get this data? How can you get this name and age? Okay, for that, see, the URL or the data is coming from client, right? So it's obviously a request, right? So you will get the data in a request. So you can just write console.log for now, just to check request dot. You will get all the data in a query format. Okay, whatever is there after question mark is considered as query string. Okay, whatever is there after question mark is considered as a query. Okay, and that query string you can get it through request.query. Let's check whether I can get that request.query or not. I'll refresh this again, or let's go back and submit again. And let's come, and you will see the object coming here. Okay, in this object you will see name as the value, age as the value. Okay, so you can see that whatever parameters which are passed in the query string are parsed and they are converted to an object. Okay, that means from this query object we can get name and age to create a user. Okay, so let's create a user using this query parameters. So I'll use const. I'll destructure it request.query. We can destructure it, right? Because it's an object. From object I'll get name and age. Okay, now this name and age we can use to create an object. Okay, now we have an array, users array. In this array I just have to push a new user. Okay, so I'll do users dot push, create the same object id with, let's say, 3 comma name comma age. We can directly specify name age because the key and field names are same, value variable names are same. Now instead of writing id as 3, what I will do is I will write users dot length plus 1. Okay, so here the length is 2, so plus 1 3, so id will become 3. Okay, so length plus 1. Now save it and check. Okay, so let's go back and submit. So user is created successfully. Your user is created, but how do you check user created? You can see the message here. Okay, so what I will do is I will redirect the user to list page. Okay, why list page? Because in the list page it's where it is, this one is the list page, right? In this list page I can see all the users, right? We already have a URL to show all the users. So as soon as the user is getting created, we'll redirect the user to user slash list in users page. Okay, now to do that we can do response dot render. Okay, and slash users slash list and then pass users. Okay, but instead of doing this, okay, here what we are doing is we are rendering a view. Okay, rendering a view means on the same URL we are displaying a different view. Now we already have a URL for to displaying list. Okay, why to display or render the same list on this another URL? Why not go to this URL and display the list? Okay, now for that you can use response.redirect. Okay, redirect can be used to redirect user to a particular string. Okay, so here you can specify slash users, and what this will do is this will redirect to this URL, not to the view. Just remember, this is redirect URL. So this URL is will be matched with this, not with user slash list. Remember, this is view URL. This you can say view path, and this is the URL. Okay. So whenever I say redirect, it will redirect to the route. Okay. Let's see whether this works or not. Let's go back, submit. You will see we are redirected to users page. Okay. And we can see the new user added here. We can also view it. We can again go back, view other users, right? See, view 3, Pranit More. Go back, and your user is displayed. Okay. Now, if you refresh the or restart the server, then your user is gone, because as I told you, this is a temporary. Okay, we are not storing it permanently into the database, so it's a temporary, or you can say temporary database. The temporary, we are storing in a in memory database. You can see in memory data. Okay, so whenever the server is restarted, your users list will be shown as it is. Okay, with 2 users, because these are the hard coded. And once you create the user will be added to that, and then you will see the user submitted here. You can add as many users as you want. You can see it. Okay. You can go and view that user. Okay. Understood this? So what all things we have done? First is the user slash create URL to render your user slash create or create form. So we have rendered the form. In this form, we are adding a method as get and action as user slash create user get. We are adding 2 input fields. Now we are giving name to those fields, okay, because these are important. And once you submit, the user will be redirected to user slash create user get page, which we are handling in server.js. Now in this page, if you want to get all those query parameters, because when you submit the data using get method, the all the data will be passed in a query string. Okay. So once you pass that to query string, you can get that data using request.query. Okay. From that, we are extracting name and age or destructuring name and age. And then we are pushing the new object with name and age fields and user as new ID to your existing users array. And then we are redirecting to a different route. Okay. A different URL. So when you are doing slash users, it will redirect to slash users, and it will render user slash list view page. Okay. Understood this? There's a difference between render and redirect. Render means we are rendering the view page or EJS page, and redirect means we are redirecting to another URL. Okay. Understood everyone? Okay, great. Okay. Now write it down. Our create part is done. Okay. Write it down. Then they will see update and delete part. Done. Okay. What about others? Okay, great. Okay, we'll wait. Let us know after you're done with the lecture. Done. Okay, good. Now, see the data which we have submitted is using get method, right? Now get method, there are two methods, okay, when you submit the form, okay, and you can use only two methods in a form, okay, one is get and another is post. There are other HTTP methods available like get, post, put, delete, patch, okay. Lot of HTTP methods are available according to the HTTP documentation, okay. But in the form, we can only use two methods, get and post, okay. So we cannot do patch, delete, put, okay. So if you want to submit a data in a post format, okay, let's say right now we are sending data in a get using get method. If you want to send the data using post method, okay, how do you send it? So to send the data using post method, I just comment this line and we'll use post here, okay. And for this I'll use a different URL, let's say post, let's call it as create user post, okay. So I'll just copy this code and paste it here. Instead of this get, we'll write post. Okay. I'll just comment this part and we'll redirect to user's page. But how do you, let's say, now let's comment entire part. Okay. This one. I'll just send response dot send create user post. Okay. So we'll send create user post. Okay. Now, if you submit the page, okay, let's go and refresh and go to create user page. Okay. If you submit the data, okay, submit it, you will see cannot post to user slash create user post. Why so? That's because the URL that we have written is correct. Okay, the URL is correct, user slash create user post. But why we are saying cannot post? That's because this method. Okay, as you can see, when we use this get, all the URLs are using by default get method. If you want to use post method, replace this get with post. Okay, then the post method will be activated. Method equals to get, we have replaced it with method equals to post. Okay, so method equals to post is there, but the here when you use server.get, so this is like a get request. Whenever you write in any URL in the browser, it is by default get. Okay, but if you are sending data in a post method, then you have to use server.post. This get is not for method for to get a URL, it's actually a HTTP method. Okay, so whenever we use server.get, okay, it's actually a get method. So if you want to handle post method, we will use server.post. Okay, now let's go and check back, refresh, okay, submit. You will see user slash create post and create user post. Okay, so if you want to handle post request, you have to use server.post, not server.get. Okay, so chalo, that's done. Now how do I get the data? Because in the post method, the data is not transferred in your query string. In get method, data is transferred in a query string, but in post, the data is not transferred from this. It is transferred through body. Okay. So, sir, when can I use get? When can I use post? Okay. So get can be used if you just want to display some data based on some parameters. Okay, just to get the data. Okay. So like if you are doing filtering on some page, you are doing filtering. Okay? And in that filtering, you need some parameters. Let's say name equals to something, and based on that name, I will do the filtering. Or let's say you are doing sorting as well. So based on some field, you are doing sorting. Okay. So in that case, pass those parameters in get format. Why I'm saying so? Because once you do that, your URL, you can bookmark that URL. And once you bookmark that URL, if you go to that URL again from the bookmark, the entire URL will be used. Okay. And you will get the result based on the URL parameters that we have passed. Okay. This is not possible with post, because in the post, we don't have a data in URL. Okay. The data is passed through body. Okay. So I'll just give you one example. Let's see, this is the Pulse portal. Okay, so in this Pulse portal, you can see these are the job openings. Okay, now for this, we are using, this is the URL. There is no question mark. That means there is no parameters passed here. So if I, let's say, select or let's say nearest branch, let's say I select Thane. Okay, you will see the parameters passed here. Okay, job search, company ID, something, and then there is something ID of that Thane branch is passed over here. Okay, and now if you bookmark this URL, or let's say I'll just copy this URL and paste it in another tab. Okay, you will see the same result with Thane filtering. Okay, you can see nearest branch Thane, the same output I will get it. And if I bookmark this URL and if I click on that URL again, then I'll get the same result. Okay, so get can be used for this purpose. Okay, so if you want to bookmark the URL, if you want to send some insensitive data, then you can use get method. Okay, but for sensitive data, where you have let's say username, password, you are doing login, you are doing registration. Okay, or you are submitting a huge amount of data. Okay, huge amount in the sense you are uploading a file. Okay, so in that case, post is the best method, because in get you can pass the data in URL. There is a limit in URL. You can write some number of characters only. Okay, I just I don't remember now, but it's something, some characters around that. So you can only enter those many characters. Okay, after that you cannot enter those characters in the URL. There is a limit in the URL. Okay, so if you have a file which is, let's say, MB or GBs of file, then you cannot obviously send them in a URL. Also, if you have huge amount of data, then also that can't be sent in a URL. Okay, so in that purpose, always use post. Okay, post is secure, or you can say if you want to do some send some sensitive data, okay, personal information, then it's better to use post method instead of using get method, because in the get method you can see the data is exposed through your URL. Now chalo, this is understood, everyone, when to use get, when to use post. Yeah, sure, I will repeat it. See, when you use get method, in the get method, we just saw get method. In the get method, the your data is passed in a URL, right? After question mark. So when you want to just bookmark the URL, okay, just now I show you the example, okay, where you can filter the data, sort the data, okay, and you can pass this data in a URL. Now you can copy paste that URL in any browser, or let's open another browser, log into that portal, okay, and then you can see the same result which we saw before. Okay, means the same filtering and same sorting will be applied. Okay, even you can check with your Gmail as well, I guess. In the Gmail also it uses this. Okay, so inbox promotions, I don't remember, but I guess if you say something like this, then let's open something like this. Okay, and if I copy this and open it in some other browser, you will see the the same email is open. Okay, if I bookmark this URL, then I'll be able to open this email anytime. Okay, so that's how your get can be used. Okay, and in the get you have a limitation of characters because it's a URL, and you can limit only some number of characters into the address bar. Okay, so you cannot pass large amount of data through this. Okay, so for that, get can be used if you have a smaller data to send and the data is insensitive. Okay, like some parameters like this. Okay, sorting, filtering, and all extra. Okay, even ID as well, that is also uh, can be done. Okay, but post can be used when you have a sensitive data, like if you want to log in, you are adding email ID and password. If you're doing registration, you add some personal information. If you're doing submitting or saving a profile, you add some personal information. Okay, in that case it's better to use post method, because in get method the data will be exposed through your URL. Okay, just now we saw when I submitted the post using post method, I'm not able to see the data here. Then where is the data gone? It is actually sent in the body. Okay, and now we will see how to get that from a body. Okay, but understood this, Aditya? Okay, good. Now how do you get the data? Now in case of get, I was getting the data through request.query parameter. Request.query object, I was getting the data from query string. Now the data is passed through body. How do I get it? Now to get the data from a body, we'll use, let's say, console.log request.body. Okay, we have a body parameter. Let's see whether I can get the data from a body. I'll refresh it again. You can see confirm. You can just refresh again. Continue. You will see the data is printed undefined here. Okay. Let's go back and check again. I'll refresh and again I'll enter the details. Submit it. Okay, data is submitted, but I'm getting undefined here. Okay. Now by default, Express doesn't handle post request. Okay, or the data which is passed through post method, by default Express doesn't handle it. Okay, now to do that we have to use some uh, middleware here, or you can say the express.static that we have used. You have to use some similar kind of thing here. Okay, server.use, we have to specify express dot URL encoded, and in this you specify extended colon 2. Okay, now what is this? What this will do? This is used to get data passed in post using post method. Okay, using post method, whenever you data pass whenever you pass the data, okay, through post method, you can get it by this. If you add this, you can say this is just an extension. Okay, what this extension will do, this will parse the data which is coming from your post method, and then it will give you the data in a body object. Okay, and this is only applicable in forms. Okay, HTTP forms. Okay, so it is like a URL encoded data. You can say URL encoded data from forms. Okay, so this can be used, and there is one more method. We use server.use, okay, express.json. Okay, this is used if your data is if data is passed in JSON format. Okay, now whenever you pass the data in JSON format, we can use this. For now we don't require this because the data will be passed through URL encoded format. Okay, through form. We are not passing a data through JSON. This will be used when we are using REST APIs. So this will be used in that purpose. Okay. For now, we won't need it. We won't be needing this. I'll write it here. This TPS. Okay. And here, when you are using forms, we will use this. Okay. So let's see whether I'm able to get the data now using request.body. Okay. Let's go back, submit. Now you can see I'm able to get the object. Okay. The name and age, which is submitted. Okay. So this is only possible if you use this. Okay. If you use this, then only you will be able to get the data and body. Now you got other details. You just have to do this. Okay. The same code here. The code is same. What we have to do is just instead of query, we'll use body. Okay. The rest of the code will remain same. Let's go and check. Go back, create. You will see we are going to users page and your user is created. Now this is through post method. Okay. But you can see that whenever I'm using post method, the data is not passed through URL, it is passed through body. Okay. Which we are getting it through body. So the only difference in get and post is we are passing the data through get method get in get parameter, and we use server.get here, and the data will be you will get it through request.query. When you use post method, you have to use server.post, and you will get the data through request.body. But to get it from request.body, you need to add this. Okay, you need to add this line. Okay. Understood, everyone? Yes. Okay. Okay. Write it down. Once done, let me know. Here you just need to do one change. Just uncomment the above line, copy paste it, and change get to post here and here. And in this case, I'll just close these things so that it will be visible properly. Use this line first, and after that you can use this post. Okay. The rest of the code, I think that it will remain same. Okay. Only this line you need to copy. Let's do one thing. I'll just do it here. Yeah. So it's visible. Use this. Then what about others? Okay. Okay, only Supriya and Prabhat is done. Okay, we'll wait for others. Okay. Okay, good. Now our create part is done. Let's do the update part. Okay. Now in that update part, okay, you can see for all of this we are using the same URL. Okay. But here you are using seeing view page. Okay. Now for this, I'll add one URL. Okay, you can see user slash create will show me user slash create page. Okay, let's create a update page for us. So I'll just create a new file, update.ejs. I'll copy the same code from create to update because the code is going to remain same. Only part is we are going to change something. Okay, here. So update user. Here the data will be like we have to fill in the data. Okay, whatever data will come, we have to fill in that data here. Okay, so here I'll just say update user post. Okay, I'll use only one method for now, name, age. Okay, and submit. Okay. Let's create a URL for that. If you use user slash get post, okay, I'll create it here. Now here we'll say user slash update. Here user slash update. But which user are you going to update? Okay. Which user are you going to update? We are saying user slash update. There are three users. Which user are you going to update? So you need to get the ID of the user, right? So what I will do is I'll just add colon ID here after colon ID slash. That means my URL would be users slash one slash update, user slash two slash update. Okay. So if user enters user slash one slash update, you will be shown user slash update page. Okay. So let's go and make changes in your list page where we will say instead of slash user slash ID, we'll write slash update here. Okay. So that after ID, there will be update and you will be shown update page. Okay. Let's refresh and see update. You will see update user page and you will see the user URL user slash two slash update. Let's go back. Update one, you will see user slash one slash update and update user page. Okay. So that's how you can see. Now I want to show the user details here because to update the user, Okay, I need to get the user details and show it over here. Okay, so how do you get it? We know the ID. So we have a server.js file. We know the ID. Okay, we can get this ID by using request.params. Okay, so we can get user request.params. Now, only thing remaining is you have to find the user and send it to update page. Okay, now you can do this thing like if condition. If user is not found, we can say user not found or 404 not found. Okay, or else and if user is found, then we will show user slash update page. Okay, not the view page, we will show user slash update page, and we'll pass the same user to that update page. Okay, now when you pass it, you can come to update page and you will get the user details, right? Yeah, you can use those user details to fill in your value field. Okay, here you will say less than percent equals to user dot name. Okay, percent greater than. Okay. Now same value I can use it here for age. Age. Okay. Now let's see whether this works or not. So I'll go back, refresh, and we'll see update. See, name and age fields are populated. Go back, go to Ajay, you'll see Ajay name and age is updated. Okay, so that means the data which is passed, okay, or the ID, based on the ID, okay, we are finding the user and then we are passing that user to update page so that we can show the user details. Okay, and then accordingly we can update it. Now when you update it, you have to call update user post method, right? So let's go and do that. Okay, then we will do this. Okay, so I'll just copy this code and paste it here. Now here you have to update with ID, right? Because we have to update the user with ID. So in this case, when you have an update page, so I'll pass ID here. Okay, I'll say question mark percent equals to user dot ID question mark greater than. Okay, so here sorry, was not question mark, percent greater than. So here user slash one slash update user post or two slash update user post, and here we will come and say colon ID slash this update user post. Okay, now from this we can get the user. Okay, we can get the ID of the user from the URL, and rest of the stuff we can get it through body. Okay, once you get it through body, you can just update the user. Okay, now to update a user, first you need to find the user. Okay, and then change user dot name equals to name, user dot age equals to age. Okay, and done. We don't have any database, so we are just doing this thing. We will just update it and it will be done. Okay, let's see what happens. I'll just refresh, update, let's say 26, submit. You'll see age is updated. Update, I'll change the name, submit. You see the name is updated. You can refresh it and check again. That means your data is getting updated. Okay, because we are finding it and we are just updating the name and age fields. Okay, so understood how to do update. Only thing is we need to change the URL. Rest all will remain same. Okay. In the case of update, we are just updating particular user. Then in that case, we have to pass the dynamic ID for that particular user. Okay. And based on that ID, we can render your update page. We can render its values. Okay. We can change the URL. And once you submit it, after submitting, you can get the ID. Okay. Based on the ID, find the user, and from the body that we have received the data, we can just update it in the found user. Understood? Here also we can check if the user is found, then only we will update it. Otherwise, we will show him the will show him not found. Okay. If the user is found, then only we will update it. If user is not found, then there is no need to update it. Understood, everyone? Okay, good. Try it out. Just putting it in the next line so that it will be visible. Done. Is it done?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then what about others? Okay, great. Our create, update, both the operations are done. Now let's do the delete operation. Delete is easy. Delete is not that difficult. Okay. So let's go and do the delete operation. Okay. Uh, so update. Let's go to list.ejs again. And list.ejs again we have user slash id, which will basically view the user. For delete, we will use slash delete here. Okay. So the user can be deleted. Let's go to server.ejs and add a route for that. So we'll use server dot. Now you can use get, post, anything. Okay. We cannot use delete. Okay. We have a delete here, but we cannot use delete because from forms we cannot send delete method. Okay. And we are not using form here. Okay. It's just a get. So we can use get here. Get. Okay. Then you'll write slash users slash colon id and delete. Okay. So this will delete the user. Let's see how to delete it. To delete the user, we can just delete it or filter the users array. Okay. Right now we have const users. We'll change it to let because we'll not be able to assign the users again. So I'm changing it to let users equals to users dot filter, okay, user and user dot id not equals to. Okay, first of all we need to get the id. So get the id from here. Okay, we got id. If the use id doesn't match, now this id, this id is a string. Okay, and in this id we have a id as number. Okay, now when you have a number, okay, we need to convert it to a string, we need to convert it to a number. So just write plus here so that it will be converted to a number. So what we are doing here is we are filtering users whose id doesn't match with this id. Okay, so that what will happen here is you will get all the users except for the user with this id. Okay, because we are checking it in not equals, right? So whoever's id matches with this, that user will be excluded and all the users will be taken into this users array. Okay, and later on we can just redirect the user. Thus, user space. Done. Your delete part is done. Okay. Let's check whether this works or not. Let's go refresh, add the new user, submit, okay, delete. You can see the user is deleted. We are redirected to users page, and we can see I can refresh again and you'll see the user is deleted. Let's again do one more delete, user is deleted. Okay. And you can see how fast it is. You can immediately delete the user. Okay. Understood how the delete operation is done?
Sir, hi,
Yes.
sir. Can you
Yes.
please repeat that filter?
Filter
Thing?
part. Okay.
Ah, ah.
See, when you do filter, right? So let's say I have this users array. Okay, I'll just do it in a browser. Okay. So I have this users array. Inspect console paste. Okay. So this is a users array I have. So if I do users, I will get all the users here, 2 users. Okay. If I just want to get the user with ID 1, so I'll do users dot filter, and then for each user I'm just checking the user.id matches with 1 or not. If the user.id matches with 1, then that user will be filtered out. Okay, here you can see only that user you will get. But what if you want to get all the users except with id 1? Okay, so in that case you will just write not equals to 1. So in that case, you will get user with ID, any ID except for 1. Okay. And that's what we have done here. Okay. So what we are doing it here is the ID which doesn't match with the user's ID. We are taking all the users here and we are assigning to the same users array so that we can see those users in a list. Okay. Understood this? What we have done. So why not equals to? Okay. Okay. So do it. Once done, let me know. Done. Okay. Now, see, sometimes you want to delete the user, but right now, if you delete the user directly, it is directly getting deleted. Okay. Sometimes you need to confirm the whether the user really wants to delete it or not. Okay. So in that case, what we can do here is in the list.ejs file. Okay. Instead of directly redirecting to delete, okay, we can write some JavaScript code which will basically do the delete operation. Okay, so for that we can write script here, not src. Let's create a function which will delete the user. We'll get id in that function. It's just a JavaScript function, and instead of calling URL directly here, okay, what we will do is we will call a function here on click equals to delete user. Okay, and in this we'll pass the user ID. We'll pass the user ID here. It will give me this error because I'll check. Hmm, because we are in JavaScript, right? In JavaScript, we cannot write like this. Let's do single quote and check whether this works or not. So what I will do, I'll just put it in a single quotes and let's print the uh, ID here and check what happens. Refresh, delete. Okay, I am getting ID here. Okay, so we can use single quotes and in that put your ID. Okay, then you will get the ID here. Now, when you receive the ID, first confirm with the user. Okay, so const confirm delete. Okay, we can use confirm dialog for this. Do you really want to delete the user? Okay, and this if it is true, okay, means if the user presses yes, okay, or okay, then we will delete the user. Now how do you delete it? Okay, and to delete it we can just call location. We just have to redirect to that URL, right? So location dot href equals to, we can write the URL. Okay, so in this URL we'll write users slash percent equals to user dot id percent greater than slash delete. Okay, so in this case what we will do, we will just write redirect the user to delete. Okay, or else if the confirm delete is false, means user has clicked on cancel, then we will not do anything. Okay, let's refresh and check. Okay, there is an error. User is not defined. Okay, user dot id, user is not defined here. So let's do one thing, let's pass the URL also from this. Okay, so I'll pass the URL directly from the from here. Okay, and comma URL, and we'll redirect to this URL. Let's see, refresh. Okay, and if you press delete, you will see, do you really want to delete the user? Cancel. If you do the cancel, user will not be deleted. If you click on OK, you'll see user is deleted. Okay, that means you are redirected that URL. So that's how, if you want to confirm the user, then you can use this method. Okay, you have to do on click first, and then in that on click call the function confirm. If it is confirmed, then redirect using location.href. Okay, and pass the URL for the to the redirect. Understood this, everyone? Yes, good. Try it out. Done? Is it done? Okay, good. Okay, we'll wait. Great. Okay. So these are all the CRUD operations, okay, that we have done. So create, read, update, delete, all the CRUD operations are done here. Okay. So we'll stop here. So next topic, we will be starting a fresh topic, which is REST APIs. So how do you create a REST APIs using Express? We'll see that in the next lecture, that is tomorrow. Okay. So this is how basically you can create users, then their routes, okay, and then their pages. But most of the time you will be focusing on creating APIs through Express, because this EJS plugin and all, okay, this is template engine we won't be using most of the time, because for front end we have frameworks like Angular or libraries like React, Vue.js, okay, which are more powerful than these template engines. Okay, so if you have a simple small website, you can use EJS or any template engine. But if you have a huge application which have a enterprise level application or websites, okay, well, a lot of pages will be there, front end pages. In that case, I would recommend go for frameworks like Angular or libraries like React and Vue.js, because they are more powerful on the front end side. Okay, and in the industry also, nowadays the people use of Angular, React, or Vue.js in the front end, and in the back end they just create APIs. Okay, so it's important to understand how the APIs work and how we can create APIs using Express. Okay, so we'll be focusing most on the REST APIs. So like we will be having authentication, authorization also using REST APIs, JWT authentication and all. We'll be learning that. Okay. Also, we'll see how to upload files in the REST APIs itself. Okay. But sorry, but this is like just to give you the overview of how we can use template engine in Express. Okay, that means without using any front end, we can directly create front end using in a Express itself. Okay, using template engine. Understood, everyone? Okay, so let's stop here. We'll continue tomorrow.